The Highway 127 yard sale is a 690-mile-long yard sale that stretches across 6 states. I spent 8 days on the yard sale looking for records. I'll show you what I found. Well, part of it. Today on the 78 RPM channel. Hello, and welcome to the 78 RPM channel. Whether you're new to 78s or an established collector, this is your source for music, research, and information about 78 RPM records, cylinders, and radio transcriptions. Hello, and welcome back to the 78 RPM channel. The Highway 127 yard sale stretches almost 700 miles from down in Alabama all the way up into Ohio. And while I would like to say that there are great records at every single stop, the fact is that there aren't. Finding good records on the 127 takes a lot of digging and a lot of dead-end stops. But if you enjoy digging, it can be a great way to spend a day. Or a couple of days. Or 8 days, in my case. To be fair, this year was better than most of the recent years, so I thought I'd take a few minutes to show you what I managed to dig up on the 127. The first major phonograph / 78 RPM record piece that I found was this Edison machine down near Signal Mountain, Tennessee. Yes, I know it's 80 RPM, don't yell at me. This Edison machine was priced at $120, and it was in pretty rough shape. The lid support is gone, and of course the diamond needed to be replaced in the reproducer. However, it did have a lateral record adapter with it, as well as a big box of records. Now, the dealer made it apparent to me very quickly he was not going to sell the records without the machine. They were a package deal. So that means I had to go through the records in order to determine if there were enough records in that box that I thought would be worth $120, because I didn't really want the machine. So after setting the camera down, I proceeded to go through these discs individually just to make sure there wasn't a copy of something in there that was worth the $120 price tag for the machine and the records. Well, eventually I asked the dealer if he would do me a favor and sell me just one record. And he said that he would sell one record. He would sell one and only one, and it would cost me $10. Well, here's the disc I picked up. This is one of few actual blues recordings that you will find on Edison diamond discs. And unlike the Edisons that have the word blues in the title, but they're not really blues, this one is actually by a black vocalist, and it was performed by black artists. The accompaniment is Lem Fowler's orchestra, which would soon become a little bit better known as Fowler's Washboard Wonders on the Columbia label. The songs are in what I like to call the early female lead vaudevillian blues style. And in spite of the fact that it says Ellen Coleman on the label, this is actually blues singer Helen Baxter.
He was the best man in this town, but he done throwed me down. I done stood about all I'm stood. He ain't the best it is, but he's a thumbs down good. They wouldn't let me be.
Now, as you may notice, the disc bears the Edison Red Star. Now, if you go on Discogs, and I don't suggest it, the Discogs entry for this states that the red star was placed on this record in order to warn dealers that the music on here was performed by black artists. Now, I'm going to attribute that assertion to ignorance and not to avarice, but it's completely untrue. The actual meaning behind the red star is discussed in this video right here, if I can figure out how to put it up here. So check this one out after you're done with this video. You should also remember, as much as I hate to say it, Discogs is one of the least accurate sources of discographic information out there. I only recommend you use it in order to find arrows toward other primary sources. Never cite anything you get from Discogs unless you can confirm it elsewhere. As I traveled northward on the 127, I came across this near Crossville, Tennessee. It's a local movie house poster from early 1959 featuring Gigi, which is a pretty good film, but not good enough to justify the 9 Oscars it won. It does, however,
feature Maurice Chevalier, and Maurice, of course, appeared on hundreds of 78 RPM discs. It also features Jimmy Stewart in the Bell Book and Candle film. Jimmy Stewart appeared on 278s as a vocalist while he was at the University of Princeton. Those are a lot more desirable, at least to most people, than the ones by Chevalier. They're definitely more expensive. Another 78 adjacent item that I stumbled onto was this billiard game featuring Amos and Andy. Now, Amos and Andy 78s on Victor are worth a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Amos and Andy transcription discs on Brunswick and Marsh Autograph, those are worth a lot. I do mean a lot. If you have any of those laying around the house, get a hold of me because I like to pick up every one I can find. I'm guessing this item is from 1930 because it mentions check and double check, which was the name of the 1930 Amos and Andy film. It has some really good decal graphics on the board as well, and I did not buy this item because I just don't think I needed it, and the left side had been sawn off. But I hope one of you found it, I hope one of you picked it up. There are a few more things I saw, including some more 78s. These, for instance, were seen during the first half of the trip, so during the first 4 days. Now, I didn't video these, but I did decide to document them in photographs, as they say. The discs in this box were priced at $5 each, the most interesting disc being this Romeo by Vernon Dalhart. I found this reproduction tray near Dayton, Tennessee, and I thought this was interesting not because it's original, which it obviously is not, but because they included the manufacturing information on the tray. So that tells me that they weren't trying to deceive anybody by convincing them this was old. It's just a remake. As you've probably figured out, you're going to find a lot more 78 RPM adjacent items than you will find 78 RPM discs on the Highway 127. However, there are always fun things that will be found, and I picked up a few of them. I picked up several pinback buttons, which are sitting right here. They are from the Bix Beiderbecke Memorial Jazz Festivals, ranging from 1987 to 2015. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but they were only $1. I can't leave them sitting there for $1. One more item that I will share with you is something I picked up near Signal Mountain. It is a Silvertone half-tone needle tin, which at one point held 500 Silvertone needles. Of course, Silvertone is the record company and phonograph company for Sears, and while the records and phonographs are pretty common, finding the needle tin was kind of a nice surprise. One added bonus is that it's full. I don't think there are quite 500 needles in here, but you know what? It's pretty close. Not many of them have been used. Now, gang, before we wrap up, I need to give the entire 78 RPM community a heads up about something. And it is that the Vintage Music Company in Minneapolis is going to close its doors. This is the last 78 RPM record shop in the US. If you've never been, you should probably go now. I do not know how much longer the doors are going to be open. The Vintage Music Company in Minneapolis is literally my favorite shop in the entire world. And it really pains me to say that it is going to be gone soon. Hopefully, a buyer for the shop can be found. So if you have any interest in, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of machines, maybe thousands upon thousands of cylinders, and about 1 million 78s, do me a favor. Just buy the place and keep it open just for me. Well, on that miserable note, I'm going to wrap up the first half of the 78 RPM phonograph vintage sound adventures from the 127 yard sale. The second half of this 4-day trip also yielded some pretty good things and some scarce things that I will share with you next week. In the meantime, do yourself a favor, visit the Vintage Music Company in Minneapolis while you still can, and we will see you next time on the 78 RPM channel.